Greetings, Douglas County, and welcome back to the Operations Network. I do want to review some highlights of the Operations Department as we go forward, but before we do that, I wish you all a successful testing season as we engage in the milestones assessment. I know you will be fully attentive to that endeavor. In the meantime, and after you are done, please spend some time referencing this video as we go forward in the Operations Department. Again, I want to remind you that we encompass facilities, which deals with maintenance and the work orders, new construction, additions to buildings, and renovations. We also have the warehouse, which does, we warehouse things that the school system needs, and we also do the mail from the warehouse. We have safety coming out of this department, as well as transportation, discipline, and athletics. That pretty much rounds out what we do, barring any other assignments that we inherit. Last time we talked about cost recovery and the mechanism that we're using called Facilitron. So far so good. I know it is still causing some heartburn out there in the universe, but just know that June 1st we will be going full-fledged with the Facilitron network, and that will enable us to know what's going on in the district. It will enable us to collect insurance and make sure that people are properly insured. I see some people are starting to get waivers, which is legal, but just know that if facilities are used, we still must collect usage fees for energy that is expended and or personnel that may be used. We will have a tiered system in that regard. There will be 4 tiers that I will introduce to principals during the principal retreat. I don't want to spend a lot of time on Facilitron. Right now we are waiving a lot of the fees and not making it mandatory for you to follow the rules strictly. But as we have gone through the folders of the Douglas County school system for all schools, those folders are very thin, ladies and gentlemen, which means we have not been following the usage policy as a district. No one in particular is guilty of this, but as a collective body, we have not been doing our due justice in regards to board policy. The next thing we want to talk about is energy conservation. We're talking about lights, electrical power, water, heating and air, fuel, and we're going to be looking at ways that we can conserve energy throughout the year. We're going to start with transportation in that regard. Transportation, 2 things we want to change, and I want you to begin saying this out loud to students and perhaps putting it in your newsletters and your communications. Next year, the bus routes will change slightly. They will change because we will no longer stop at individual houses, drive for 5 seconds, pick someone else up, drive for 10 seconds, pick someone else up, because that's wasting time and it's causing delays in the arrival of students to your facilities during the regular school day. So we will have corner stops implemented, meaning we will have a larger group of kids standing on corners, maybe up to 25, maybe up to 30, and then we will go to the next spot and have another corner stop, and the buses therefore will only have 2 or 3 pickup spots, and that will save time and allow students to get to school in a more faster and efficient manner. It will also save gas, and I think that's going to help the overall situation with arrivals. Another thing we're going to do, because most districts already do this, is that we are going to stop going into cul-de-sacs. I know some parents want the child picked up at the house, but when we go into cul-de-sacs, buses have a hard time turning around because people pull out their basketball goals. People like to park in the cul-de-sacs because of lack of parking. And then we have to have buses backing up, which we're really not supposed to do. And sometimes when buses back up, they do a good job. Sometimes it's raining and someone's car might get swiped, or someone's mailbox gets knocked down. So we have to just watch out for things like that. So no more cul-de-sacs as of next year when we begin. Districts around us stopped doing cul-de-sacs years ago, and districts around us started doing corner pickups years ago. So we're just going to catch up. But that's going to be part of our energy and conservation as far as transportation is concerned. Work order requests, from now on, and they have been, but there will be a more intentional effort to prioritize work orders. Particularly, we will address those that are most important, and sometimes we won't be able to approve all work orders. I know that's different with some of them because they are totally unrealistic and don't fit in the grand scheme of what needs to happen with time and management and money during the school year. We have to begin rejecting some of those because in our minds, in the maintenance department, we already know it's not going to happen. So we don't want to sell you false dreams about things that you want to happen, but don't necessarily need to happen. So when you see rejected, you can give me a call because that was totally approved by me, and we discussed it in detail, and I will have that rationale for you. We want to be able to take more proactive measures and preventative measures in our department. Facilitron, I do want to go back to that. Just make sure you are paying attention and using Facilitron, because the last thing you want to do is book something, not going to Facilitron, and someone does go into Facilitron and they show up with the legal document saying it is theirs, and now you're double booked for the same facility, and that's going to be an issue. And I'm just going to be honest, and I'm not Mr. Mean Guy, but on Saturdays, like I did as a principal, I went to work. So I'm going to do the same on this job, and I'll be riding around the county just to see what's going on at our schools and if it's in line what is in Facilitron. I'm just telling you, I don't want to sneak and do it, so I'm telling you I'm doing it right here in your face. All right. Safety, you will continue to receive those messages from Superintendent North. We want to continually improve our safety measures, which we will continue on down the line. We're going to have a safety plan, that's what I'm trying to say, for tornadoes, floods, snow, and active shooters for individualized schools, not just a district plan, but we want to look at particular schools and how they are laid out. The tier system has not been decided as far as tier 1, 2 tiers or 3 tiers for transportation. We do want to maximize our routes. That's our biggest thing, and make better use of Edulog, which is a platform that routes buses. My job is the day-to-day maintenance of the county. The superintendent, Mr. North, will be more engaged in the big projects. Those projects costing $50,000, $100,000. Those projects that have to go to the school board for approval, he will be fully engaged, and we will sit down together and prioritize those. Now, I know I sent out a list of projects that principals have already submitted. We're going to look at those lists. We're going to prioritize that list, and then the superintendent will have his list, and we will come up with a master list, and I will publish that to you. So some things are going to happen slowly, some things may not happen at all, and of course we want to do what's best for the county because some buildings just need more attention than others. So I'm the day-to-day small project guy. The superintendent is the big project guy, which most of those will happen during the summertime, so there will be no major constructions for the most part during the regular school year. Quickly, I have some other announcements. We're going to determine a process for furniture. I know some of you are inheriting bigger allotments and you need furniture. We used to house furniture here in the warehouse, so we will get that out to you. We are working on our grounds crew and a summer paint crew that will be able to come in, and perhaps some summer interns. We can employ some kids to work on grass and painting. We're working on an HVAC and building report to see the condition of our buildings and HVAC units, and we're just kind of all over the place doing different things. We're looking at a safety app that we may be able to use just to give you bullet points on what to do in certain situations. I mentioned the safety plan. We're also going to have a district-wide maintenance plan, and we're going to coordinate with public safety to perhaps do some safety drills throughout the summer. And we're going to revisit activity fees at schools, particularly high schools, to make sure that they are all in alignment. I know this video is getting long, so I'm going to shut up now. We will also restructure the organizational chart within this department probably by July 1st, and I will talk more about that later. And of course, some of you have seen the athletic director position that is posted, that is currently held by Mr. Strong, but we will be hiring an athletic director and bringing them on board with the direction for athletics at the high school level. That is all. Hope I didn't bore you too much. Continue to have a great week if you're listening to this video prior to testing. But after testing, take a breather. Job well done this year. Thank you.